Hi, everyone. Dr. Brie from the Goddess Emergence, where you merge together, merge better. Teresa and I are going to be talking about
Mhm.
some very difficult situations that are happening on this earth plane. Politics, low vibrational behavior, light behavior, and how can we help? So let's get right to it, Teresa. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's talk about what's happening to innocent victims out here that don't feel they have any hope. And let me explain hope. And I got this from one of my guides. I will not name the guide right now. And when I have permission, I will. Hope. The H stands for health. Your health is always first. O, observe your self behavior, your surroundings, the people around you. Observe it carefully. P, prosper. Does not always mean money. How are you going to prosper during the day? How are you going to help yourself enough to get over a situation that maybe you feel like is destroying you inside? But do you have to let it destroy you inside, or can you go on from there and find the right way to prosper and then educate yourself enough? That's E. When you educate yourself enough on the experience you went through, where do you go from there? And these are the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some politics. We're going to talk about the non-transparency of the homeless. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But let's get right to it. Teresa, how are you?
Good.
Should we start today? We're very informal today, and I love it. So let's talk about, let me think. Non-transparency.
hmm
I want to talk about that. Why do you think people are afraid to be truly transparent? Comes right down to it.
Sometimes I think sometimes it's people's vulnerability, but I think there's a lot of fear in there. I think right now there's fear. I'm afraid to say what I think. I'm
Hmm.
afraid I'll be punished. Something bad will happen to me. I won't be loved. I mean, all that breadth of emotions that happen when we're afraid of things. I think we have on a going on a global scale,
Hmm.
of governments changing. Everything we know is changing. We feel vulnerable. We don't feel protected. We don't know what to do exactly.
So you brought up a good thing about the government.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of spiritual leaders don't talk about it. I'm sorry, but I'm one
No,
that's
they
going
don't.
to today. I don't care. It needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the government jobs that if you do not comply,
Mm-hmm.
you will lose your job.
Right.
How many government officials are complying? Several.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in the light, trying to stay in the light and work in the light,
Right.
but yet keep a boundary around them, but yet they're influenced by the darkness. What are they supposed to do then?
Yeah. And it may appear like they don't want to, but we don't know that. You know,
Right.
I believe people are inherently good, and they want to do the right things. But intimidation, when you have families and a livelihood that could be taken away, that's powerful.
Well, and the other thing is, what about threatening people to
Mm-hmm.
stay compliant
Right.
to any situation? I don't care who they are. It doesn't mean just in politics,
Mm-hmm. Could be anywhere. Could be something
right?
very simple that you
In
deal
your own
with.
job.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're with the electrical union, okay? If you don't follow their rules, not compliant,
Mm-hmm.
what happens?
There's consequences.
Right.
There's consequences to everything.
So that's one thing. The other thing is, if you look at that, I'm using the electrical union for example. I mean, my father was an electrician and belonged to the union and everything, but so that's something I really know about. But the thing about it is, if he was not compliant,
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't have become the person he was with his job.
Right.
And that's really sad that people have to live that way. We're supposed to be compliant as spiritual leaders, and we are. But we have the leeway to speak our truth as long as we do it in truth and dignity and love.
We talk about often, and you hear this often in the spiritual world, harm to none. What does
Hmm.
that really mean? Sometimes we don't think about maybe the words we use as being harmful because we're angry or something, But what I see across the US is a sort of normalization of harmful words and thoughts and activities toward ourselves and toward each other. It's very destructive. Um, wouldn't teach our kids to do those kinds of things, and yet we see many adults acting that out.
Right. And a lot of people are a product of their environment also.
Sure,
So
sure.
I know my parents didn't teach me to go out and be a bully and
Mm-hmm.
threaten people.
Right.
Yours didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if there are children growing up in these homes like that,
Mm-hmm.
they're learning to be that way.
Right.
So they're not working in the light then either.
Right. Some of us didn't grow up in a very digital world. We're older,
Right.
And so this rapid spread of information is so instantaneous that it can really hit you pretty hard, and
Right.
it's relentless. It can be
Right.
relentless, and look at the impact that it's doing to our own personal well-being and to the communities that we live in.
Hmm.
It is creating a lot of fear.
Right. The one thing is we use the word fear a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And how can we get over that fear? I mean, how can we really? Every day there's something out here we have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you go in the grocery store and somebody you're grabbing for the last box of I don't know, chicken noodle in the box or whatever. I'm just gonna say that, right? Uh, the old chicken noodle soup that used to come in the box.
Yeah.
Our moms would make. Okay, when we were sick. Okay, I need that box. And somebody comes up behind you and grabs it that's taller than you. I'm only 5 foot. Okay, so they grab it and it's tall, and they grab it. What do you do? Do you get upset or you just politely walk away and just say, "Oh, that person must need more than me,"
Mm-hmm. It's an option.
or you say, "Excuse me, ma'am or sir, I was grabbing for that box. May I have it?" Have you ever done that to anybody?
I'm pretty sure I have. Or
I
when you're
have.
standing in line somewhere and someone cuts in front of you, there's nice ways to, you know, say that. I guess
So
there's
with me,
choices.
it's
Some
like,
people might come out smacking you. Well, there are choices that we make in those kind of situations every day,
right.
but it starts
With
with
me,
our choices, doesn't it?
right, it does. And so my choice is go ahead, I don't care.
Yeah.
Pull
Often
in
our
front of me,
choice.
I don't care.
Hmm.
But there are things I do care about very strongly, and that's the truth and justice.
Hmm.
Truth is being honoring others. Truth is honoring yourself. Truth is being honest. Truth has many levels of
Hmm.
that word. Injustice, I will not tolerate. Being rude, being kind, threatening people. I'm about justice, making things right, no matter what it is. So, as a job, as a goddess, during the day, I'm in this human body. I have to represent the gods in me, or it's all entwined, right? In me, and still be a normal human being, but yet have the temperament and understanding of both worlds for me. And then at night, when I leave my body and go do my God's work to help heal people or solve a situation over the White House or, you know, spread love wherever I can or wherever the Creator sends me, right? And my whole team goes with me. Sometimes we have to do things we don't like to do.
Mhm.
Now I say I'm bringing this up for a reason. When we leave our bodies at night, many of us have to go out and take care of that injustice that's happening on the planet. We have to fight the things that people don't see that's happening to make it better for people here. Have you ever thought how that might feel for someone like me, Teresa?
Sure. It's like carrying the weight of everything on your shoulder
Mm-hmm.
and waking up in the morning exhausted and
Yes.
wondering what you did, because oftentimes you don't remember the work that a lot of us do in sleep state.
Right.
And we all work in sleep state. Everybody
And
does.
we all, yes,
Everybody
true.
does.
Sitting on councils and doing whatever that they're doing.
Planning.
Scientists, doctors are doing their jobs.
Right.
Uh, you know, I sit on several councils and I'm doing my job. And my job right now is to work on the earth and be here. And at night when I need it, I take care of the situation. The thing is that no matter what, however we're living as a goddess or human being, scientist, a doctor, whatever, we're here to help.
Mhm.
We would not have, how I say it, nurses wouldn't have their degrees, doctors wouldn't have their degrees, lawyers would not have their degrees, you know, if they were not here to help in some way. Um, there is so much injustice going on in the entertainment world. I'm gonna bring that up for a second,
Mhm.
if that's all right with you.
Yes, because we know what's going on with many people we know.
And they're like they're bullied.
Mhm.
Um, that's the only one I'll explain it. They are being bullied right now to conform. All these imposters that are playing on their names. I wonder, are they truly imposters? Or were they brought in by another level of spiritual people? What do you think, Teresa?
I think it's a possibility for us to learn and grow and to say, do we really all know where we stand, where we want to stand? What is our integrity? What are we choosing for ourselves?
Right?
And what are we choosing? We all are here because we said we wanted to come and be on the earth plane at this time. We wanted
Hmm.
to be witness and we wanted to help. And so, how do we best help?
So, with me, the best way I can help them is shine my light even brighter
Mhm,
and stand up for them. I
mhm,
will always do that, along with the musicians. Um, there are so many imposters for the musicians also.
mhm,
And they're trying to get their message out. But here's the thing: in the entertainment world, they are their agents, whoever they're with, right?
mhm,
Do not want them speaking out on it. I put a post up on one act that I'm not actor, musician that came out and said, "I've told you before, we do not sell backstage passes. We do not sell this, this, and this." And I had to unfollow a
mhm,
whole lot of people that I was following that were friends of mine. And why was that? This is in the music industry because the imposters started following what I was doing.
mhm,
So I'm blocking every day, not out of anger, out of my own self preservation to
mhm,
prosper. I think I've said enough about that.
mhm. But sometimes prospering means speaking up,
Hmm.
not being silent, um, for your own, self-worth and sanity. And it gets into a little bit of the educating of others to say, these things are happening and these things are widespread. Here's what happened to me. Here's what I had to do about it, and maybe that helps you. It's about
Right.
helping each other. And you and I've talked a lot about lifelines, being lifelines for each other when situations happen. And some are pretty serious. It's going on for many people in the world, extremely serious. It's life threatening. And then you have other situations where just things happen to you, or something's not working and all your electronics break, or it's just from one simple thing to one very complicated thing. But it is about learning to prosper in an environment like this, and to make a difference, but to make a difference in the light no matter what happens.
Right. The one thing that bothers me is I heard something and um, ICE went in, took a bunch of children out of school.
Mhm,
That makes you sick.
mhm,
The children were all legally here. Three-quarters of them, along with their parents, a little over three-quarters, were legal citizens.
mhm,
Then there's just not even a quarter that was not. The one parent wasn't out of them. So they took away the parents, separated the children for a long time till they figured out who was who.
mhm,
How injustice is that? That's total injustice.
mhm,
Another situation that happened, a mail carrier ball thing that was half African American, half Mexican. All of a sudden, an ICE agent ran up to him. He says, I'm a U.S. postal carrier. Had bag, everything. It didn't matter. They started grabbing, he grabbed his cell phone, speed dialed his boss real quick, handed them the phone. And do you think that man got an apology? No. Now, these are proven facts that are happening right now, and that is injustice. And that's why
mhm,
Gazas and people of the light are here to fight this right now, to help these people of the light. The homeless that people are just calling drug addicts or whatever. I asked my guide, oh gosh, I can't wait till I'm able to name him, that who my personal guide is. Um, are they of the light? Of course they are. I was so happy to hear that. How many of us turn a blind eye to them?
mhm. Some of our best teachers, aren't they? Some of
Hmm.
our best teachers, so that we don't become silent and indifferent, because it's not happening to us personally.
Right,
But
right.
there are many things happening to all of us now, and is escalating, whether it's a data breach or identity theft, or
Um,
a lot of things we're going through, that are becoming more mainstream. And the more that we can be transparent and help each other, and live with integrity and
the
caring
identity
about
theft,
everyone. Yeah,
right?
maybe
The
you'd share a
identity
little
theft
bit of
is,
your story on what's been happening to you in the last year and a half.
um, yeah. Identity theft is very high because of all the data breaches. But there's one thing I want to warn you, say right now, and then I'll get into my story. Um, I'm going to talk a lot about it, but I will give a partial thing on it. I lost an account on Facebook. Okay, what's the first thing they do when you try and get your account back? Give them a copy of your driver's license or give them a copy of your passport to prove it's you. Well, at that time, I weighed a whole lot more. And so luckily, luckily, they're like, okay, that is you. Okay. Now I've lost the weight. And now my new passport has what I look like now, right?
Mhm,
Okay. Quit giving out your passport. Quit giving out your driver's license. There's other ways to confirm who you are. And this is what happened to me. To a reputable company, I will say. They asked for a copy of my passport to prove of who I was. Now, in this industry, that is not uncommon for the work I do. as a life coach. Well, it ended up in the wrong hands. They opened several email accounts under my name. It says Dr. Brie Gibbs 88 at Dr. Brie Gibbs at a bunch of numbers at, and then I caught on to who it was. They fooled me for about 10 months. They almost destroyed me. Having hacked my computers, had to buy a new computer, software, everything I had to do to protect my computer so I could do my job. They went so far to hacking the phone calls of mine. And you're wondering how that's done? Real simple. Let me explain. Texting. I texted a phone number to someone. They got in that phone number through a software program and watched everything we talked about for months to be able to pull up it was him I was talking to or her. Just a him and a her. I'll just say that. That's how bad this is getting.
Mhm.
So I've turned it all into all of the federal authorities. Here, I'll start with this. First, the police department, local police, then the Federal Trade Commission, and then the U.S. State Department, because of the passport thing. And yeah, they're investigating everything. But the thing is, I know who the people who did this to me are. How many do not know? Do not give out your passports information or your driver's license information if you're not in front of that person. Now what's done has caused havoc, chaos, and all I can do is use the word hope now. One, take care of my health. Have an ulcer, take care of it. Observe my surroundings, observe what has happened to me. Prosper. Figure out how I'm going to fix this situation so I can live with this every day till these people are caught. E, educate myself and others. So right now, my situation is very delicate, so I will not speak about why and who it was. But that person is suffering just as much as I am. The friend of mine. Someone very special that created brought into my life to help me at one of the lowest times of my life. I needed somebody. And yes, I have my low times. This is years ago, but how dare they intimidate people? How dare they go that far? You know why? Teresa, you want the truth to answer and transparency? Because I do not believe like these people that are surrounding him do. That is why. If I had walked away, once I found out, none of this be happening. But I am a fighter for the light. Why would I walk away from just having a friendship? Why would anybody give up on anyone? I won't. Now, am I communicating with this person? No. Why is that, you think? Why do you think, Trisha?
Well, you're under investigation, so that's one area where you just don't. But it's just a respect for the privacy and the well-being of each
There you
other.
go. There
Sometimes
you go, right
it's
there.
the prosper that of what you would do for yourself and for the other person. So you're always in this, what action I take, can I not harm something? Can I minimize harm in a situation? And
Right.
you have to want to come from the light within you to do that. You have to find that. We all carry this goddess light, and we learn to grow it as we evolve, and a lot of us get older, and we see how important it is to be our own lifeline and share lifelines with each other.
You
And
know,
sometimes you
we
have to
talked
do
about,
things you don't want to do.
right. So we talked about on the radio show about carrying the God's light.
Right.
Everyone is born with the God's light, male and female.
Right.
So it's not that it makes you more female because you got the God's light in you. It's an energy.
It's not
It's
a
just an
it's not a
energy,
gender. Yeah.
an energy of the God's light in you to help you. That's your compassion, your love, your understanding.
Mhm.
Now, the
Caring for
masculine,
yourself and caring for your fellow person. You
right,
know, it's about caring about what happens to people
right. One
and
thing
not
that,
controlling them.
right, one thing I was told that to relay a message to someone, the fists are for fighting, the knees are for praying.
Mm.
That came from my guide also.
You know, I've always thought of prayer as prayer doesn't belong to any religion. Prayer is
No,
a very powerful thing to do. And in times like this, um, use your prayers.
okay.
Use your prayers. You know, it's not about religion, it's about helping yourself and
You
everybody.
know, right, and that's something else. A lot of people are looking for spirituality right now,
Right. Looking for answers.
right? And be very careful. There's the dark side of religion, and then there's, if you want to say it, uh, no, I don't want to use that word as religion. There's a dark side of it and a light side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So these groups that come at you and say, "Oh, I can help you with this, this, and this,"
Mm-hmm.
and you sign their paperwork and this and that, you sign your life away. The creator, you don't have to sign nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay in the light and give your love and trust and compassion.
Doesn't cost you anything.
No,
Mm-mm. Doesn't cost you.
somebody tried to get my stepson involved in an organization. He
Mm-hmm.
was in junior high. I ended up kicking the people out of my house. My stepson was very mad at me at the time. He was young. He's 27 now.
Mm-hmm.
Understands, is very thankful that I did what I did. I've
But
seen it.
sometimes, you know, when you're looking for answers and you're young, sometimes you don't know differently. You just don't know,
Right.
you know. So be cautious.
So
What I hear you saying, be
yes, be
cautious in
very
your young
cautious and
intuition.
educate. If any type of church, and I'm not saying church is bad, go to church, wherever you're going to go to get your own spirituality and what you believe in. What I'd like everyone to do is investigate and educate yourself
Mm-hmm.
in their beliefs before you join any of them. I know, like growing up, we all went to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in this, you know, how I say this, as children, we're not educated, right? We will just go with our parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get indoctrinated in what they're doing. Okay. If you feel it's not right, don't do it. If you have an inkling that this is wrong, walk away. Trust, believe, do not second guess your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, was I second guessing doing this video with you today? No, we talked about before what we want to talk about, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can we educate others to want to prosper, have hope, How do you think that, Teresa?
Keep talking. Don't hide. Don't be silent. Just be kind, but keep talking. Keep the dialogue of the light um, in your own house. Keep it in your communities, and so often, more than words, it can be your actions. I happen to care that people don't have food. That's a big issue with me.
Right.
And there's many things you can do. That's just shining your light and helping each other, being those lifelines. I think we're gonna need to do a lot more of that. It doesn't have to be hard.
No.
Life doesn't have to be that hard. We all came with work to do, right? And we know it. And some people's work is way more visible than what
Hmm.
we do. And some are on a much bigger scale, and some of us work more locally and within communities.
Right.
All important,
So the one first step is, I would say, start with yourself.
right?
See what needs to be changed about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
One, I got a bad mouth. Uh, I could getting so angry and getting mad, but I have a real thing about the dark side, and I'll shut up where that's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And but the other thing is have compassion about it for the people involved in it. I do. And the thing is, there's people involved in dark side without even realizing it, though. Have you ever thought about that?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
They're thinking they're doing all the right things.
right.
I'm living, I'm working every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making money for my family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing everything right. That this is what the husband will say. The wife will say, I'm taking care of my husband. I'm working every day too, taking care of the children. How, because the
Right.
families, you have to have two jobs at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens when they start comparing who's doing more than who? Are they in the light then? No. You pulled yourself out of the light by bickering on who's giving more to a relationship, who's giving more to money into the house, who's doing this, who's doing that. That is not a light.
Mm-hmm.
Honor and respecting your spouse, your partner, whoever, your friend, for who they are, where they stand, that is of the light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say nothing bad about our president.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you've ever heard me say anything bad about him. And why do you think that is?
Well, number one, it's not in the light, and two, it doesn't solve anything. All it
Correct.
does is create a chaos. And when you want to change something, be that change. Don't be the opposite of what you, because all you're doing is reinforcing and rewiring your brain, for negativity.
Mhm.
Um, no, I mean, be that change that you want. It is hard. It is not easy when you're bombarded by everybody's opinions and anger and of what they don't like. Change the dialogue for yourself
So,
and for others.
so with what happened to me, I'm
Mhm.
changing that dialogue.
Right.
I'm a survivor of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Hope, again, H, health, taking care of my health. O, observing, prosper. I'm not going to cave in. I'm not going to go get off here and go crawl in my bed and watch a movie because I just educated myself by getting it out and speaking my truth. I may not have said where it came from, who's done it to me,
Mm-hmm.
why it was done,
Mm-hmm.
but they know the truth and I know the truth. And that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to say this real quick. Again, anybody that has used my name
Mhm.
Dr. Brie Gibbs, do not give any money to. They had put it under Outlook, Hotmail, Yahoo, UK providers. It started in the UK, came to the US. Luckily, we have good old Microsoft, and Microsoft is shutting them all down. They cannot hide through their VPNs with Microsoft. They get right through them.
Mhm.
And now I personally don't care if the people that did this sees me about this, say, hear me and saying that because yes, they got through their VPNs and they will be shut down.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping many more people will turn their stuff into Microsoft and Gmail and Hotmail and Yahoo, even if it is not yours. I went to try to open up a Hotmail account. There was my name. I
Mhm.
went, opened up, tried Yahoo. I tried everything.
Mhm.
AOL, look, Outlook again. Microsoft's working on that, but just, I was just like, I'll be darned. They even took my Outlook,
Mhm.
added a couple of extra numbers.
Yeah.
And of course, Microsoft's taking them down so I can get my Outlook back, right? But it's like, how much more do you want to try to destroy somebody?
Mhm.
But then there's the average person
Mhm.
without the. See, when I went to school for broadcasting, right? Radio broadcasting. The one extra thing I took was investigative journalism.
Mhm.
Have a journalism degree, guys. Didn't think about that one. I want, besides for writing, I wanted to know how to do investigative reporting. I thought about that.
Mhm.
So, um, you wonder why I know what I know.
Mhm. Came in handy, didn't it?
It did. And I was only in my early 20s then,
Mhm.
and a broadcaster. And sometimes, and there's stuff I don't know how I know
Mhm.
to find out. I really don't.
Mhm.
And I had said that to my guide. I don't know where I got all this from radio broadcasting school, though. Right? I really don't know. And I'm thinking, maybe I was a detective in one lifetime.
Could be. You're pulling on some skills.
Yeah. And it annoys some people sometimes, but the whole fun thing about it is it wouldn't be in my cellular memory to use it
Right.
if it wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
Going to back then when you had to be licensed, it was a 2 year course. I finished it in a year. I went through it so
Mhm.
fast,
Mhm.
and I was able to take my um, test at the FCC, and they're going, "People don't get this done in a year. How'd you do it?" I said, "I just did it." Then the journalism, another thing, but the whole thing is when we look at this world and people in it, how do you know these people that are doing these underhanded things of non-transparency don't have the same kind of background I have
That's right.
to do under,
Mhm.
to do the work, or they have people working for them to do this
Mhm.
work to find out any information they can,
Right.
and they pay. So, as we know, the government, what are they doing, Teresa? You told me about earlier.
Mm. Well, there's lots of tools in their toolkit to know what everybody's doing. We'll leave it at that.
Nice way of putting it.
Yes. Yeah.
They're doing the same thing that was done to me.
Right.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I go apologize. I'm sorry, but it's true. Transparency.
Well, in the end, we will all speak about our own personal integrity and
Mhm.
where we chose to stand on this planet. Um, it takes a lot less energy to stay in the light than it does to stay on the other side, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It really does. But,
Oh boy, does it.
yeah,
I've had conversations.
you brought up a point earlier about many people don't know these kinds of things are happening behind the scenes to them. They just don't know. But when these data breaches started happening quite a number of years ago, we did not have the sort of forensic tools and the services that you can go buy now to tell you how many times you appear out on the dark web, and we're lucky that we have these things now because we can find this kind of stuff and there's help available, and it's creating a transparency. So the value of transparency in a world like today is critical.
True.
Speaking up is critical, and shining that light of caring about yourself and others is what's going to make a difference. And honestly, start with yourself because that's the easiest place to start.
Right.
And it does
So,
have a ripple effect.
right. And the ripple effect is huge right now, what
Yes,
we're
it
doing
is.
today.
It is.
Um, I don't care if I got one, I don't care if I see no likes on this, on my videos. I don't
Mm-hmm.
look for that.
Mm-hmm.
I know my messages get out, our messages on the radio shows get out. Now we're starting to do things on YouTube by ourselves on purpose so we can get more out than what we do on the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And not everything we would talk about is going to be like today, believe it or not, but today had
Mm-hmm.
to be about certain subjects and what need to be taught about. And the thing is just be vigilant,
Mm-hmm.
be careful. Don't fall for the scams. Don't, please. So where the musicians are concerned, get on their verified page that has a little blue check mark, not the big fake one that people make, the little tiny blue one. I
Mm-hmm.
have it on my pages. I heard about this really nice spiritual guy that helps. Okay, he's a spiritual leader on TikTok. Being an imposter for him, I thought they're going that low to make a buck.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yes,
sad.
they are.
I'm not on
Unfortunately.
TikTok a lot. I put a couple clips up from a radio show, and I'm done. I'm not there to
Mm-hmm.
just give some information out and then go to our YouTube channel and watch everything, right? But the thing about it is, I'm seeing so much of this, and it's like, even in the spiritual world, guys, come on, please give me a break. This goddess has enough work to do. I'm serious. I got enough to clean up of my own messes and then clean up others. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
If they knew my job and who I truly am, they'd understand.
Mm-hmm.
And these people that did this to me, if they truly knew who I was, besides Dr. Brie Gibbs,
Mm-hmm.
none of this would have happened if they'd gone to the head of their organization, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I might do something right now, Teresa.
Okay. I
I
always
think,
look forward to your transparency.
well, take my glasses off. Let me think for a second. I'll do this now. I know I have my guides in here with me. My goddess name is Ayana Madonna. I have put that in emails. I have put that in text. No one knew about the Madonna till lately. So, what I want to say right now, there's another name in front of that I will not say. That part I will not say. What I will tell you is the dark side is very aware of who I am. And I'm not saying this out of pleasure, because right now I'm actually have my fists together in my hands. And my hand is just right now holding me together right now. If they would have checked with their head of the organization that has connections to the underworld, none of this would have happened to me. But they thought, oh yeah, some woman's a goddess. Yeah, right. Huge mistake. But I am of love. I'm of the Creator's light. and the God's light. And I will not fall out that, no matter what. So, what I am sending them right now to the people that did this to me and my friend, Goddess blessings, everyone, and sending you love and light. That's what I'd like to end with, Patricia, unless you have something else to say.
Yep, I think that's the perfect ending. We all choose where we stand. Choose the light. It's far more fun. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that.
You're welcome. And everyone, have a great day and God's bless, and we'll see you.